Hello everyone. In this video, I will present my research in progress, privacy paradox in generative AI users. Based on feedback from the literature review presentation, actually I intended to modify only some parts, but it turned out that I modified quite a lot. But I will explain the modification in this presentation. So here is the agenda for the presentation. The first agenda is background. From the previous presentation, I got feedback including unclear definition of AI recommendation and personalization construct, what construct I'm interested in, and research questions that are not aligned with research model. So since I'm interested in the negative construct of technology, I go through the intrusiveness construct, which I mentioned in the previous presentation. But while going through the intrusiveness construct, I found the privacy construct, which remind me of some challenge in Instagram recently. So the challenge is to ask ChatGPT with the prompt, based on what you know of me, draw a picture of what you think my life currently looks like, and then post the image on the Instagram. Most of my friends who joined this challenge said that the image generated is quite accurate and it's cool but scary at the same time. And here's the one of the example. After that, I did some research related to privacy and found an interesting phenomenon, which is the privacy paradox. Privacy paradox is when individuals state privacy concerns but behave in ways that seemingly contradict with their statement. And since it's interesting to me, I intend to investigate the existence of privacy paradox in generative AI users. Related to the theme, I found that numerous studies have already explored privacy concerns, social influence, and perceived usefulness of technology, but they explored them individually, and so far there has been no research examining the interaction of this construct. So for this research, I formulated two research questions. The first research question is, how do social influence and perceived usefulness influence users' intention to use generative AI? And the second research question is, how do privacy concerns affect the relationship between social influence and perceived usefulness on users' intention to use generative AI? Actually, there have been many studies that have tested the first research question, but in order to answer the second research question, the relationship between the other construct must also be clear, so I still include the first research question and aim to confirm the result of the previous studies for the first research question. And here is the proposed research model. The independent variables are social influence and perceived usefulness. The dependent variables are perceived usefulness and behavior intention. Privacy concern construct, moderating the relationship between social influence behavior intention, perceived usefulness behavior intention, and social influence and perceived usefulness. Social influence and behavior intention relationship is adapted from the social influence theory, which is also mentioned in the theory of reason actions, theory of planned behavior as subjective norm construct, and in unified theory of acceptance and use of technology. Perceived usefulness behavior intention relationship is adapted from the theory of reason action and theory as acceptance model. And the privacy concern, this construct is adapted from the communication privacy management theory. And for the control variable, so far I define age, level of education, AI familiarity, type of task or task objectivity, and whether the user using paid plan or not. Next is hypothesis development. For the first research question, how do social influence and perceived usefulness influence users' intention to use generative AI? As I mentioned before, there are already several recent studies that test social influence and perceived usefulness construct. Changalima et al. Study found that social influence and information quality significantly impact the behavioral intention of ChatGPT usage among business students. Zhang et al. Study found that perceived usefulness has a positive effect on the intention to continue using AI. And the relationship is positively mediated by user satisfaction and negatively moderated by innovation resistance. Next is Kim et al. Study found that effort expectancy and social influence drive employee adoption of generative AI. This study also highlighted that an employee's age and work experience have a differential effect on behavioral intention and usage behavior. So for hypothesis 1, 2, and 3, I would like to confirm the positive relationship between social influence on behavioral intention, social influence on perceived usefulness, and perceived usefulness on behavior intention. Next is the second research question. How do privacy concerns affect the relationship between social influence and perceived usefulness on users' intention to use generative AI? As of my knowledge, there is still no research that examines the moderating effect of privacy concern on relationship between social influence and behavioral intention. Kulfiwat et al. Study found that effect of social influence on adoption intention is mediated by consumer attitude. And from the privacy-related research, we could know from the Kim et al.'s research that privacy concern exhibit significant relationship with selected consequences, which include such as trust, disclosure intention, and protection behavior. And Al-Bashrawi and Motiwala's research revealed that privacy concerns moderate the effect of perceived usefulness on customer satisfaction, contrary to personalization in the usage of mobile banking applications. Therefore, it is reasonable to hypothesize that privacy concern may also have moderating effect to the relationship between social influence and behavior intention, to the relationship between perceived usefulness and behavior intention, and to the relationship between social influence and perceived usefulness. Next is the definition of the construct. The constructs in this study are defined based on definition from already existing research. Social influence is defined as the change in an individual's thoughts, feelings, attitude, or behaviors that results from interaction with another individual or a group that is perceived to be similar, desirable, or expert. And perceived usefulness is defined as the degree to which an individual believes that the use of a specific system improves work efficiency. Privacy concern is defined as a feeling of anxiousness concerning one's own personal privacy. And behavior intention is defined as individuals' willingness to disclose information and or to engage in commerce. Next is the methodology of the research. For the research object, I chose generative AI chatbot as the focus of my research because their usage has been gaining popularity recently. And the data in this study are at the individual level and are expected to be collected through online survey. To answer the validity and reliability, I plan to calculate Cronbach alpha for the reliability test, exploratory factor analysis for the construct validity test, and confirmatory factor analysis to test the convergent and discriminant validity of the construct, and also composite reliability test. For the hypothesis testing, I plan to use structural equation model, partial least square, analysis because the research design uses many latent constructs, and also because the focus of this research is to explore the relationship between variables. Next is the expected result of the study. As the privacy paradox has been seen in previous research on other IT artifacts, I also expected that users of generative AI chatbots would also exhibit the privacy paradox. And there is also a possibility that several control variables such as familiarity with AI, age, and education level may have different influences on the intention to use AI. For the limitation of the study, so far this research model is designed not to measure behavior directly, so the result will be limited to measure intention. Also, the current research model still utilizes the relatively old construct from previous literatures. But there's a possibility that the model will be modified again, including AI-related construct from more recent studies. And since the data collection plan is to target only one generative AI chatbot users, this may limit the generalizability of the research result. Next is the contribution. This study is expected to reveal the effect of privacy concern on the intention to use generative AI. And from a practical point of view, if privacy is still a big concern, it may impact users' loyalty and retention. For the academic contribution, this study extends the widely known technology acceptance model study to include perception of privacy. And here is the reference for the studies. That's all. Thank you for listening the video. See you again.